baffe abalungi aba Joy Television nyongera obabuuzaako nti muje baleko gye mutusizaako engalo kansuubire muli bulungi nnyonyi ddala ate Mukama abakoze bulungi nnyonyi ddala era nga ekitiibwa tetulema kukimuddiza olw'ebyo byatukoledde olwaleero agoocha kwemu tukeereyeemuko katono naye nga ntuusa okwetondera kwange erimu abalabi baffe abalungi ababaddeko nga balindirira ku ssaawa emu yennyini naye siffe just ebyuma by'omuzungu bibadde byekyanzeemuko katono amawulire agoocha kwemu nze Vicky Blessing atoleire ogakutuusaako kansoke nga kuwe mu bufunze tuvaako. Museveni atongozza ekyuma ekirongosa ebisolo. Ababaka bawagidde omulanga gwa President okukendeeza ku misolo. Prime Minister Nabbanja alagidde ekisaawe ky'e Namboole kikolweko mangu. Prime Minister Nabbanja asabye banka okuwa abalimi ebbanja ly'ebyobulimi. IGAD eyigirizza enkola ya digital system okwanguyiza entambula y'okusala ensalo. Ababaka bassa akazito ku KCCA olw'enkulaakulana y'ebibuga mu bukyamu. Nyongera okwanyiriza ku mawulire agoocha era nga nkukulisaayo nnyo mu mitwe emikulu egy'olunaku lwaleero era nga ke kaseera nkuwe amawulire gaffe agoocha mu bujjuvu nga tutandise no okwongera obulunzi okukuza obugagga. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni atongozza ekyuma ekirongoosa ebisolo katubirabe.
In the rolling cattle corridor of Gomba district, where livestock farming has long been a backbone of livelihoods, a new chapter in value addition has begun. The commissioning of the meat and bean processing facility is expected to create a reliable market for farmers while shifting Uganda from exporting raw produce to processing it locally. To sustain production, the factory will also require nearly 39,000 head of cattle every year, a demand expected to encourage farmers to increase both livestock numbers and quality.
As you've been briefed during the tour, this modern abattoir will ensure that meat is processed under the internationally recognized hygiene and quality standards, enhancing food safety and public health. It will also improve efficiency in the beef value chain and strengthen consumer confidence in locally processed products.
For the National Enterprise Corporation, the facility is more than a processing plant. It is part of Uganda's broader strategy to replace imported meat products with locally processed alternatives, keeping more value within the country.
For example, Your Excellency, the UPDF dry ration for this financial year is over $2 million. That money would have remained here in the country or even in the National Enterprise Corporation. So you may, Your Excellency, wish to give a directive on the local procurement of this tinned beef.
Beyond supporting farmers, the factory is also expected to strengthen food security for the Uganda People's Defense Forces and the Uganda Police Force.
You can imagine we get our dry ration from Brazil, which is so far. It takes time to deliver, in addition to donating jobs, as Your Excellency always tells us.
Your Excellency, this factory is not just about business. It is about strategic logistics, troop welfare, and national economic transformation. First, for many years, a significant portion of our operational rations such as canned beef and beans was imported, as General Mujira stated. With this plant, the UPDF is transforming to self-sufficiency.
But even as the machines stand ready, investors say reliable electricity remains the biggest obstacle to unlocking the plant's full production capacity.
This factory, Your Excellency, has been ready from 6 months ago. And one of the challenges is, Your Excellency, as you see this factory, before even offtake, it takes us about $100,000 to just maintain it and keep it on. That is the salaries, the electricity. When not electricity has been so unreliable, and that introduces a new problem of water.
That concern drew an immediate response from President Museveni, who pledged government action to ensure stable power and create an environment where industries can thrive.
The head of the factories, which is the Minister of Industries, fed by the Minister of Investments, the one in finance, so that when Uganda Investment Authority licenses a factory somewhere, immediately you start working to back it up with the necessary things.
The president says Uganda's journey to a $500 billion economy will depend on expanding value addition, supporting investors, and turning the country's agricultural potential into finished products.
The stimulus to make us do so is the market. Once I am sure about the market, I can mobilize the Ugandans to produce, and the economics is correct, because what we need to determine is who are the source of the raw materials. The small farmers, like in the case of coffee and dairy, or the big farmers. Decide between intensive farming versus extensive farming.
Located in Kisozi Gomba district, the facility will process meat and beans for supply to the Uganda People's Defense Forces and the Uganda Police Force, while opening new opportunities for livestock farmers across the
eyo nga tuvuddeyo ateko akakiiko ka parliament akavunaanyizibwa ku byensimbi kakkiriza okusala omusolo ku buveera obukozesebwa omulundi ogumu okwawukanako n'ekiteeso ekyayisibwa parliament eye-11 katubirabe.
The Parliamentary Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development has unanimously agreed that the 25% tariff imposed on a ton of single-use plastics is substantial and is to cost the manufacturers. This was after President Yoweri Museveni raised a red flag on the proposal as passed in May by the 11th Parliament.
Whether you go back and read, the facts have been stated. The rate earlier was 2.5, the proposal is 25. So even if you go and read who proposed what, who brought it, it will end. Do we agree with it? Do we need more research? And that is the point.
The MPs want to be availed with the research which informed the decision of the MPs in the previous parliament to increase the tariffs from 2.5% to 25% per ton of the single-use plastics.
Because anything with taxation must depend on data, you must depend on information you have, so that you increase the tariff rate. So I do think that the President's Collect is saying, please, first hold on and make a research, convince, and we change the tariff rate.
Personally, I had suggested that if we had agreed to put it at a higher level, and now we are saying return it to the lower level, is it possible that the tax we had expected from the taxation of these products will simply disappear? So where will it come from? Won't that lead to a shortfall in revenue collection? I thought we could have a middle ground.
Despite the agreement, the need to categorize plastics to benefit from exemption hangs in balance.
Is that the current law did not list the plastics that were liable to excise duty. The President's letter lists them, and I can read them. The President says, plastic granules used in the manufacture of single-use plastics. That is the first category. The second category is single-use plastic products, including disposable plastic cups, lids, plates, cutlery.
I think we've given these investors a lot of tax exemptions. Many of these manufacturers, the big manufacturers, are getting away with all this money and they are repatriating most of it. They are not investing it in the country. What they do is set up a factory, get very many years of tax exemptions, collect as much as they can, send back to their country. When the time, the duration expires for the exemption, they change a company and then come and register a new company and begin afresh, which I believe is completely wrong.
The committee, through the chairperson Max Ochai, has summoned the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to appear and harmonize the intentions in the drafted bill and the opinion of the President.
And yet we are only focusing on the single-use plastics which are going to pay the tax. Now, as Parliament, we need to harmonize our position with the Minister of Finance, which actually is the fiscal authority. They are the ones with the capacity, technical capacity, and they're the ones who sponsored the bill.
Eyo nga tuvuddeyo ate Prime Minister Robina Nabanja alagidde ekisaawe ky'e Namboole kikolebweko mu bwangu ddala nga AFCON owa 2027 ategekebwa. Katubirabe.
Uganda, together with Kenya and Tanzania, are expected to host AFCON 2027. Amidst all this excitement, the country is required to put up adequate infrastructure that meet international requirements, like stadiums, roads, health facilities, aviation services, hotels, among others. Today, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, summoned ministers and senior government officials to explain how prepared the country is to host AFCON 2027. However, the state minister in charge of sports, Peter Ogwang, is concerned over the delayed works by the UPDF Engineering Brigade at Namboole National Stadium.
Mandela is the main stadium.
Without Mandela,
no all this investment we are talking about is as useless, and we would have failed the region. We have the inspectors coming in 31st of what? Of August.
Forego other important assignments. What we need is just work.
We are ready to deliver and we work. Even the
patriotism is required here.
Yes, madam.
What shall we tell our people after Muzei had promised everybody? The umbilical code for AFCON is Namboole.
Exactly.
Without Namboole, we are finished. We are going to affect our brothers and sisters in Kenya and Tanzania.
The Engineers Brigade is working day and night, as we recommended the other time.
Where are we?
I visited there. I found serious works going. I keep going there.
Minister Ogwang says the facilities to host AFCON are urgently required to allow the country to pre-host the AFCON qualifier matches in October this year.
Even if we're hosting, we are meant to play qualifier matches. So now what has happened, the Confederation of African Football, we had to engage them. We have already been grouped in a group of Libya, Botswana, Uganda, and I think Lesotho. Those countries are meant to come to Uganda. As of now, Namboole is closed. We can't use that stadium. So the stadium we're going to use is the one in Hoima. The need for that terminal like yesterday. And we are going to have our first match on 3rd of October. That's between Uganda and Libya in Hoima Stadium. Because they would even tell us to go and play a game in South Africa or go back to Morocco. Yeah, and it's a cost to the country because you have to pay. It's an international game. We don't want to embarrass the country.
The Prime Minister has also tasked Abubakar Construction Company on Kiboga Hoima Road to step up its construction works on the road to allow the country host games at Hoima Stadium.
Please, the excitement in the country is too high that we cannot even afford to think of either doing otherwise. The Kiboga Road must be worked on. Let him pull up his socks. Whether he's bringing God from heaven, what we want is a road. That's all.
Thank you, right.
We have 6 months to go. Each ministry has got their own Lubimbi. Work on your area. Be within your Lubimbi.
So I want to appeal to my colleagues. We are not being hard. We are just being sincere that we committed ourselves. We either embarrass the country or we have to.
Ate Saba Minister Robin Anabanja asabye banka z'ebyobusuubuzi mu ggwanga okukulembeza okuwa abalimi looni z'ebyobulimi ez'amagoba amatono ddala okusobola okutumbula ebyobulimi bw'abadde nga asisinkanye ekibinja okuva mu banka ya DFCU. Katubirabe.
The Premier says that agriculture is Uganda's backbone and any support to the agricultural sector will have a multiplier effect to the economy. Nabanja says that countries have developed because of the low interest rates on loans, which should be replicated in Uganda.
Capital. Availability of money for our people and local investment or investors. But the cost of money in Uganda is still a very big challenge. What is your rate, interest rate, and what drives you? If it is high, what are the driving factors? Because now, if you are giving me money maybe at 15, 20, and you want that money after just a few months, do you expect the businesses to survive?
Margaret Karume, the Executive Director, DFCU Bank, says that they have loans focusing on agriculture, which supports the smallholder farmers.
The grassroots, they look for farmers who are even smaller than you, Right Honourable, and we nurture them. We take them through financial literacy, through crop husbandry, right at the grassroots. We start them with very small amounts, but we teach them the good skills of crop husbandry, animal husbandry, and financial literacy.
Matthias Jumba, the head of integrated channels at DFCU, says that they have a mega plan to support women dealing in small businesses to help them graduate to higher levels in business.
Fruits and we're trading on the streets. So we'd like to see how we participate together to probably see how we can have them organized. A need to support them in supporting them to put up market stalls.
DFCU Bank is one of Uganda's largest commercial banks, headquartered at DFCU Towers on Chadondo Road, Nakasero, Kampala, with over 50 branches nationwide, and it offers retail, SME and corporate banking services.
Eyo nga tuvuddeyo ate kyo ekitongole kya gavumenti ekivunaanyizibwa ku nkulaakulana ekya IGAD kikola enkola ya digito ekwatagana mu mawanga agali mu mukago okusobola okwanguyiza entambula y'abantu n'okunyweza okugabana amawulire okuyita ku nsalo. Katubirabe.
Officials from the Intergovernmental Authority on Development have called for greater collaboration among member states in adopting digital identification systems that can communicate and share information seamlessly. During the learning mission, delegates from IGAD countries were taken through Uganda's national identification and registration processes, with NIRA showcasing how technology has improved identification and service delivery. NIRA Executive Director Rosemary Kisembo said digital identification is key to simplifying government services and enhancing the exchange of information among countries.
Today we began to ask ourselves the 5 questions: what, how, when, where, why. And the fundamental one is what? What data do we want to share to support movement of goods and movement of money across the region? That's number 1. The second question, now in the what we shall define what data fields name, what this date of birth. Countries need to agree and sign on that protocol. Next thing is the when, the how, the where. All those will probably and most probably be driven by technology, but there are finer details that need to be discussed. And Uganda was bringing to bear its experience. We have 75% of our population on the register, and now we have experience that we can lend to so many nations. And also we were talking a bit about the future on the digital IDs supported by a digital wallet discussion and the use cases we'll begin with.
She urged member states to develop interoperable systems that can securely share identification, data and support regional integration. Kisembo also emphasized the need to empower young people with technological skills to drive innovation and strengthen information management systems across the region. Lucy Daxbacha Ondoga, who oversees the protocol on the free movement of persons at the IGA Secretariat, said the organization is prioritizing the harmonization of immigration protocols to facilitate trade, tourism, and free movement of people.
In the context of the IGAD protocol on free movement of persons, we're expecting high flows of migrants from the region. High flows of migrants who are looking for safe abodes for residents, who are looking for investment and trade opportunities, also who are looking for employment opportunities. As you know, our region is made up of over 60% a youthful population, and then would like to ensure that this protocol facilitates the movement of persons in our region, also to enhance trade and investment.
She noted that effective information sharing among member states will be critical in achieving deeper regional integration and improved across-border cooperation.
Ateko akakiiko ka Parliament akavunaanyizibwa ku by'obutonde kakwasizza obuvunaanyizibwa ekitongole kya Kampala Capital City Authority kiyite KCCA mu bufunze omulimu gw'okunyweza kaweefube w'okukola ku mataba agagenda mu maaso n'okutataaganya bizinensi n'obulamu bw'abatuuze obwa bulijjo mu Kampala. Katubirabe.
The Parliamentary Committee on Fiscal Infrastructure, chaired by Mwini Mpaka, Member of Parliament from Barra City South, met with officials from the Kampala Capital City Authority to assess their preparedness in tackling flooding as the country prepares for the rainy season.
We have always had challenges of floods that have affected trade, that have affected infrastructure. So we had a meeting today, an opening meeting. We have also asked them for specific files regarding some projects like the HAM project. We have also asked for a file regarding forest mall. There always floods around there.
Led by Deputy Executive Director Benon Chigenyi, KCCA outlined the authority's achievements and challenges in addressing persistent flooding in Kampala.
Major drainage channels have been rehabilitated, targeted flood mitigation projects have been implemented, routine maintenance programs continue to improve the performance and reliability of the existing drainage network. Despite these achievements, rapid urbanization, increasing stormwater runoff, encroachment on wetlands and drainage reserves, environmental degradation, and the impact of climate variability continue to place considerable pressure on the city's drainage system. Kampala Drainage Master Plan provides a comprehensive and strategic framework for addressing these challenges.
However, committee members expressed dissatisfaction with KCCA's failure to enforce regulations against illegal developments, arguing that unchecked construction has worsened the flooding in the city.
One point is amiss, Chigundu, that was constructed on a Chivubo channel without the approvals of KCCA. And then today, as we were in the committee, we found out that he later got the approval. I want to ask, how did he get the approvals when the project has been done? And this is what we call smart corruption. By getting approvals after the construction is way too wrong.
Kampala Capital City Authority needs to wake up. A lot of money is being allotted to KCCA on drainage management, but little is on the ground.
According to KCCA's report to the committee, 20 billion shillings has been looked at to compensate traders affected by October and November 2025 floods. Members of Parliament questioned the expenditure, describing it as wastage of taxpayers' money.
This is a planned disaster. The engineer, the leadership of KCCA is planning to allow more government taxpayers' money be spent on compensation instead of reducing those natural hazards or artificial hazards which are being created due to illegal plans being approved by KCC.
Must we, how long must the problem caused by an investor be shouldered by the government to pay billions of money for compensations every time it rains? The money of compensation should have gone for other projects.
This is not by KCCA, but by Office of the Prime Minister. A problem that should have been averted by KCCA.
The committee chairperson has directed KCCA to submit detailed reports on legal constructions and enforcement actions to enable Parliament to take appropriate action.
Because I don't think the members of the committee are against development, but want to see if this channel, for example, the one in Nachifubo, if it was built based on the volumes of water that are supposed to be using drained through that channel, if it was built with the technical guidance, because we know the president gave a goodwill to an investor known as HAM to set up that structure, but want to know if it was set up within the guidelines.
The Committee on Physical Infrastructure will reconvene with KCCA on 31st July 2026. The Minister for Kampala is expected to appear before the committee to respond to the MPs.
Mbebaliza ddala okubeera abalabi abalungi abamawulire agoocha okuva mu bitundu byonna gye musinziridde okubanga mulaba era nga Mukama abampeera omukisa. Siyinza kumenya kitundu ku kitundu naye nga kye mubamanya mbaagala nnyo ate nga omulimu gwe mukola gw'amaanyi okubanga mwekuumira ku Joy Television ate naddala ku mawulire agoocha era nga go amawulire agoocha gawedde nga munzikirize mbasiibulire wano mbaagala nnyo Mukama abankuumire tusisinkane olunaku olw'enkya essaawa ze zimu nze Vicky Blessing. Shalom.